Adoptables. Everyone's favorite topic surrounding it because nobody really can agree on anything at all these days. The reason I want to talk about this is because I've heard a lot about adoptables and reselling adoptables and so on and so forth. Is it okay to do? Is it bad to do? I don't know. But someone sent me this screenshot of an interaction that they saw on, I believe this is DeviantArt. Let's take a look, shall we? Hi, just a question. Why can't we resell at a higher price even with extra art? I'm a bit confused on that. And then the artist responded by saying, so I can avoid having people buying my adoptables, make 1 or 2 drawings of it, then resell at a way higher price so they can just profit out of my work. And then the person responded with an interesting comment. Before I say anything else, because someone giving their opinion can be seen as hate these days, especially in the art community, a lot of themselves as hate, which is kind of dumb. So you always have to preface everything you say. I think that's how it works personally. I make adopts, and if someone sold them after making art of them for a higher price, I'd understand because they also put work into the OC by spending their own money and using their own art skills. Once you sell a character's back, I really don't understand this, and I don't think that's how it works legally either. Most people, when they sell their OCs, it's out of necessity when they get sick or pets get sick, or they are having a hard time. The usually lose profit, the don't make it. They may have spent $500 of art on the OC, but only get $50 for it. I've had this happen to me with OCs I've made many times in the past. When you sell a character, you sell all right to it. The only thing the new owner is legally obliged to do is credit you for your work. The legal aspect that this person brings up is pretty interesting. Pretty much what they're saying is to credit the original artist. You should do that, but you're not legally obligated to, as you own to Twitter and Discord. And I ask people, what do you think of this? Because this is a conversation that I think would be interesting. And do you allow reselling of your adoptables? Have you ever had an artist get mad for reselling an adoptable, or seen this own everything about that character? You own all rights to the character. You don't need the artist's permission to then sell it again because you own it. That would be similar to buying a PlayStation 2 from someone on Craigslist, and then if you want to sell it again to someone else, you have to ask the person who sold it to you in the first place permission. Owns Avatar because they own 20th Century Fox and all the IP that is associated with it. They're allowed to do whatever they want with Avatar. Now, what you should do if you're an artist and you don't want someone to resell your adoptable is you need to sell them a license to use your adoptable rather than sell the adoptable. So you retain clear in a contract that you draft up with your lawyer or legal representative who will draft that for you and make sure that it's legal and correct and binding and all that stuff. This is what happened with Disney originally with Avatar. They wanted to build Pandora at Animal Kingdom, an expansion to the theme park of Animal Kingdom themed around Pandora. So what Disney did was they acquired a license to use that IP for this specific area of the park from 20th Century Fox. That license did not allow Disney to make an Avatar movie, did not allow Disney to do anything other than exactly what the contract specified they could do, which is use that IP in an expansion for their park. However, now that Disney has bought 20th Century Fox and has bought the Avatar IP through buying 20th Century Fox, they now own it and can do whatever they want, and that contract no longer matters. So if that's the route you want to go, if you want to sell your adoptable without allowing people to sell it again once they buy it, you need to sell them a license to use it rather than outright sell the entire IP. Because when you sell an adoptable, you're selling the entire IP. You no longer own any rights to it at all legally. So going back to this, no, you do not need the creator's permission to resell an adoptable that you bought from them. I don't believe you need that. Breaking news right in the middle of the video. Just a few seconds here, please stick with me. Just a few seconds. As of right now, there's only 2 designs available. There will be more to come soon. There is a PK head with the word YIF written there, or if you would like to wear things in public, there's one with just PK in there. Choose your design, backpacks, mugs, cooking aprons even, caps, water bottles, mouse pads. You can have it on a freaking pillowcase, a phone case for iPhone 7, 8, 7, 8 Plus, iPhone 10, 10s, Galaxy S9, any phone, as long as day, or else you're gay. I don't mind if people were to resell my designs for a higher price. One crazy instance is when I witnessed a designer publicly revoking a design and giving out refunds because the client hadn't drawn the character in a month. Like, stalker much? Just to be clear, revoking designs is a very hard traded away a character you directly purchased, you still can't resell it. See, this is an interesting thing. I think for whatever of double standards, and a lot of artists like to kind of control everything with every works, or how every other industry functions. If you sell an adoptable to someone and you tell them they're not allowed to sell it for a higher price than they bought it for, that's completely illegal unless you are selling them a license to use it. Once again, because once you sell the adoptable, they own that character. Nice, but for some reason, artists believe that that should be the case. A lot of artists, not all artists. It's kind of interesting how there's a lot of double standards like this. Someone who is composing music for a video game sells their music to whoever is commissioning them. Whoever they sell it to owns all rights to that music them to make the work. So the company retains all rights to the music. It works the same in every single industry, except a lot of double standards. I feel like if you get sold an Adopt, that Adopt is now yours to do what you please with. Maybe. Like, I can see why people wouldn't care, and I can see why people might care, but I think that they should have a right to resell them, or at least give them to another person. It might also be considered not okay because it's the art of the original owner of the adoptable. Saw this in another comment and I agreed with it. Make some art of your own to go with the adoptable before selling it, maybe. You cannot sell something and say, you must use this before selling it again. That's not how it works. Product that works like that. But for some reason, artists believe that this is how art should be. Even via a license to use it. You're not selling the character, you're just selling a license to use it. But that never selling the right to use the character. That's the only way you can do it and have control over what they do with it. Otherwise, you have no control. You're selling the character, you're getting rid of it. You no longer own the character. Whoever buys it has all the control. There's nothing wrong with reselling an adoptable. I'm pretty sure it could be wrong that you own the character after that, so you can do whatever. You're right, you do own the character. That's how it works. If you buy a character, it's yours. If you resell it, you have every right. It's not the person you bought it from anymore. You have full range. See, this surprises me. There's a lot of people who agree with my opinion on this, which is that you should be able to do whatever you want with an adoptable you buy. I thought that there would be a lot more people who would not, which I think is fair. By reselling it for more, you're basically profiting from someone else's hard work. Which is why I believe that if you're gonna sell it for something that costs more than what the original adoptable costs, you better have extra art or some other things to go along with it. This is an interesting thing. In terms of legal speak, this is not true. You are still able to sell concert tickets for a certain concert so that there's no more left, and then you can sell them for whatever price you want because you know people will pay for it. That is morally wrong in that circumstance, right? In my opinion. With stuff like adoptables, if you buy up adoptables, right? And then you just sell them for a lot more money, you know, adoptables that are high in demand, that could get into scalping territory. So that's more of a gray area that's interesting. I wonder what you all think about that. Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I do believe that there's for a higher price. You're not doing it with the intention of scalping. You're doing it with the intention of, I was gonna use this, but now I'm not going to. But I see an opportunity for profit there. Does that make you a bad person? I don't think so. But if you're buying it with the sole intention of then just selling it with a higher price, that's kinda, I could consider that a little bit messed up, maybe. But you know, that's also just business. That's how every business works. I mean, think about like any business, literally. Movie productions, every single person working on a movie, the cinematographer, the DP, the audio guy or woman, they all get paid way less than their service from those people. And then selling it once the movie goes into the box office, and their ratio of the money made from the movie back to the people who worked on the movie, right? That's not how it works. Is that morally wrong? I personally do not think so. All business is buying a product and then selling it for a higher price. It's basically what it is. They're buying the work from a DP, from a cinematographer, so on and so forth, and then selling it for a higher price. That's what it is. They're buying work from editors who edit the video and then selling it for a higher price. So there's a lot of discussion to be had about that. It's not a black and white community, and a lot of communities on the internet, there's this whole idea that doing one specific thing means that you are all of a sudden a terrible person. Like a lot of artists believe, doesn't matter who you are, everyone has done bad and good things. The sum of all those equals you are now a terrible person, which is not true. That's another discussion to be had. That could be a whole video. Character to someone else, LOL. I think a lot of artists just do not grasp the concept of selling an IP to someone. When you're selling an adoptable, you are selling a character to someone. You're selling that IP. It's an IP, it's a character, it's an intellectual property. You are selling that character to someone. You're not selling one piece of art that depicts that character. That would be one commission of art. You're selling the entire character. Artists are just young and too immature to understand that sort of concept. But when you sell and adopt, you're selling away your character. It's gone forever. I think when it comes to legal stuff like rights to the character, a lot of people just don't understand the details of that. A lot of artists don't understand the details of that. And it would be, right, oh, you resold the adopt that I sold you. even though that's not a bad thing to do, and it's totally, I made, mind you, after she had sold it back to me. So this artist right here sold, the person who sold it back to them got mad at them for gifting an adopt to their friend that they made in the first place. Internet, whether it's DeviantArt, Twitter, Discord, so on and so forth, any strange things you've seen artists do, any dumb things you've seen artists do, any dumb things you've seen people in the art community do who are fans of artists, anything like that. I've seen a lot of dumb things in the art community, and I think some of these things need to be talked about. So let me know. SSL. Every Sunday I'm gonna be live streaming here doing art related stuff. I'm gonna be drawing stuff, whatever. It's all gonna be for creative stuff that I wouldn't normally stream on this channel. So if you're interested in that, please follow me on Twitch. Turn on those notifications on Twitch. I don't even know if that's a thing on Twitch. I'll be there every once in a while. I've got the time.